Alright, so I wanted to talk about the video that I uploaded on July 1st. In that video, I shared some dreams that I had been having where I kept having dreams about 9/11. There's a 9/11 style event coming, some type of attack that's being done on purpose. And I shared the dream that I had recently where I was in the safe pickup truck and I looked down the road behind us and I saw the 9/11 type of event that was done on purpose. And then I turned around and literally right there, brushing up against my arm, my left arm, was another 9/11 style attack that was done on purpose. And I've just kind of been thinking about that dream, and I'm wondering if that wasn't showing what we're seeing right now taking place in Texas, because in the dream I looked behind us and I saw one that had happened, and it was done on purpose. It was attacked on purpose. And like, we just went through this with Hurricane Milton and Helene it was like end of September, beginning of October, I believe, with the the dam flooding. And I'm sure most of you, like myself, have done your research on that and kind of have an idea of what went on there. And I'm wondering if in my dream, when I looked back behind me and saw that being done on purpose, if that wasn't that happened in North Carolina and still isn't, people still need help down there. And then I turned and literally brushed right up against my arm with something else like that, just about getting ready to happen. And as I said, I posted that on July 1st, and then on July 4th is when the quote-unquote flooding happened in Texas. I say quote-unquote because, I'm sorry, but there was not enough rain to equate the destruction that took place there. And a common denominator in the event behind us and the one that just happened is DAMS. I'm sure you guys have already, done your research on that and everything as well. And if so, if that's what this dream was symbolizing, because I was like, when I had the dream, I was thinking like, oh gosh, like something in New York or whatever, which that is coming at some point sooner or later. History repeats itself because these evil people have no original thought, and there's nothing new under the sun. So whatever they do, they're going to keep doing it. So my thinking is that me looking behind me and seeing that destruction, that attack on purpose, might have been, what we just went through in North Carolina with that flooding and the absolute just death and destruction. That's very much an attack from within, if you ask me. And then the fact that in this dream I was so close to that event happening that I could feel like the hairs of my arm brushing up against it. And then literally a few days after that is when this Texas flooding began. And if that's what the dream was kind of showing, then if you remember in that dream, literally right after that happened, off to my right, I saw that staged area. They literally had built a stage and the dream told me these are crisis actors. They put crisis actors in that staged area, and they were like down rolling on the ground, pretending like there was an attack going on. It's funny because, the actual real attacks that are done on purpose, sorry for the noise in the background, that's really bad traffic. The attacks they do on purpose, oh, it's just an accident, it's an act of nature. But the ones they fake and stage, they pretend that it's organic and real. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, right after the event that had just happened, they built the stage and they had crisis actors rolling around on the ground and pretending to be getting attacked by these like small animals. Like I don't remember specifically any type of animal, but just small animals, something like skunks and like porcupines and like foxes, like little woodland creatures that aren't that much of a threat, really. They were just kind of, the animals were there, and they were just kind of like wandering in and out of the staged area, just kind of sniffing around a little bit, just poking around, and then they leave. So no threat. There was 0 attacks going on. It was pretty pathetic, actually. And I remember sitting there in that pickup truck bed just watching them, and I'm like, you know, that's ridiculously pathetic. Like, that's so lame. Stop rolling around on the ground. And like, they were screaming like, oh my gosh, we're being attacked. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, why are you doing that? And then, despite how fake it looked to me, I was just sitting there like, you know, side-eyeing them like, stop, like, that's not even believable. But despite that, people were falling for it. They were being totally deceived. But I knew that whatever they were doing was fake. It was staged. They were crisis actors. It was not real. These animals that they were claiming to be getting attacked by, they were not a threat at all. It was false flag. So that happened right after. So if this Texas flooding 9/11 style of attack event from within was symbolizing that, then that's what was next. And I don't know what the animals were symbolizing. I had mentioned in the video that right before I had that dream, or right after it, sometime near that dream, I had the dream of seeing the huge grizzly bear. And there was a woman in a window, which dreaming of a window is like a vision in a dream. The grizzly bear, I mean, it was real. It was a real attack. It came up to the window and literally bit that woman's face off. That was real, and I feel like that was symbolizing the attack of Russia that's coming soon. And I know a lot of you guys have been having that dream as well, and that's not the first time that I've had a dream about a big bear attack like that. But yeah, so that was real. That animal was a real threat that actually happened. So I don't know if like the fact that they were animals again, but these were smaller, they were not a threat really. Like, they were just kind of poking around a little bit and whatever, but they weren't attacking them. I don't know if that was symbolizing like some other nation of people, or I don't really know. Let me know what you think. But after that staged event, we kept driving down the road in the pickup truck, and I could see like 2 or 3 other little peppered events after that. It's weird because I could very clearly see the one behind me. I could very clearly see the one to my left that brushed right up against my arm, and I could very clearly see the one that was right up ahead. It's interesting because the ones after that were blurred. Like, I knew in my mind that they were happening, and again in the dream it said crisis actors, staged fake false flag events, but I couldn't see what they were. I couldn't see what was going on. It was very just like down the road kind of a thing, like not for me to see at that moment. So maybe that's something that happens either literally further down the road so far that maybe it's just not for me to see that yet, or if it was something that happens after Jesus gets us out of here. I don't really know. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, that I'm kind of thinking that that dream was symbolizing what happened in North Carolina and literally what is just going on in Texas right now, because of the fact that it was so close. It was right there. I could feel it, and then it happened a few days later. And if so, then there's something else up ahead that they're planning and staging and faking. So just be aware of that and be praying about that. It's absolutely devastating and just disgusting seeing the reports of everything that's taking place in Texas right now, and the search and recovery efforts. So sad. And it's just literally, like I said, it's North Carolina all over again. And I think we all know, what really caused all that, because people are like, why would God cause that? And there wasn't enough rain in either of these events to cause literally just the dams bursting forth. Like, I don't want to say too much, but you know what it reminds me of in the Bible, where, the birth pangs, the water is breaking, and we all know what happens when the water breaks, when a woman is in travail, when the water breaks, there's no stopping it from there. And it's imminent. The baby is imminent. But it's sad because I just saw some videos this morning that said that the way that they're identifying bodies now and finding them is not through just like physically searching and rescuing, but it's at the point now where they are able to find them because of the smell. And I remember them saying that with North Carolina, and it all just kind of clicks with me that I think that that's what this was showing. But again, the fact that it was like buildings, like skyscrapers that were being purposely attacked, like to me it was saying like, oh, 9/11, 9/11, but it might not have specifically meant like that we will see another skyscraper type of event like that. It might just have been God like showing me like, we all know 9/11 was an inside job. It was planned from within. It was done on purpose. So I feel like that's what God was saying. And I believe that what happened with Hurricane, was it Milton or Helene? I can't remember specifically. But with what happened in North Carolina and the surrounding areas around there is the same thing. And I believe that what took place in Texas is also the same thing. And so I just feel like this next event that I saw in this dream isn't too far down the road. Let me know what you think the animals could be symbolizing. I don't know if it's like Iran or I don't think it would be like China or anything. Like they were harmless, but they were making it seem like they were viciously attacking them, but they weren't. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then keep praying for my family for this adoption to take place with our girl's biological sibling, who we found out he is scheduled for a C-section birth on July 21st. So my husband and I are rushing to get recertified for foster care because we ended our license after we adopted the girls, because we were just done. Like 2 kids is, we're happy with that. But the fact that this little baby boy is about to be born into chaos, destruction, abuse, I don't want to say too much of that personal situation, but it's really bad. He it's not good for him to be there. And there's already been so much abuse going on. And I don't want to get into that too much, but it would be best for him to be here with us. And just pray specifically for the obstacles, for God to overcome them just by the miracles that he does. He makes the impossible possible. And so right now, this baby, he is about to be born over the state line. And if he's removed at birth, if she tests positive for drugs or whatever, then they told us he will be immediately removed. But he's over the state line, and if he is taken away, there's not a clear line of communication between the foster care system where I live and theirs, unless she were to be honest and speak up and say, hey, he has siblings in another state. So just pray that he doesn't get lost in that system and that he's able to immediately come be here with his sisters. So thank you for your prayers. Let me know your thoughts about these dreams. And you guys, I really don't think that we have much longer here. I said that a lot back during like 2012 and like 2020, but after that, I felt like God was showing me things in my life that were going to take place first. So I kind of was like, I think the rapture's not going to be as soon as I thought, because God kept showing me this stuff about fostering and having children, and we did. He gave me a dream, showed me in a foster care agency signing up to become a foster parent, and he gave me that dream the morning of 9/11. So that 9/11 number is really a common theme that he gives me. So it was like the night going into the morning of 9/11 that I had that dream. And so I decided to see when they were having classes for that, and it was literally starting right after that. So my husband and I got signed up, And we took in these 2 girls and we did adopt them. So I just kind of believed during that time that the rapture wasn't just yet. I believed up until 2020 that it was going to happen. It had to happen. But then I started having those dreams showing me stuff in my life that was going to happen. So I was like, okay, maybe he's telling me that it's still coming, but you know, these were things that he had planned for our life in the meantime. And now that all of that is finished and accomplished, like I don't feel like that there's anything left that he's shown me that you know, personal life stuff that's coming. And seeing everything that's going on in the world right now, everything that Trump is doing and all this peace talk and just floods, and the world's in chaos. It's all just complete chaos everywhere. I don't believe that we will see very much of next year if we don't go this summer. So I'm just like, my eyes are like saucers. Like I'm always on the edge of my seat, just like looking up and waiting. And I just feel like any moment, you guys, we are going to meet him in the clouds and we're all going to be together forever. And so just be encouraged by that, because I know it's ugly here. It's disgusting. I just can't stand it anymore. The corruption and the evil. There's just like, it's hard to have like find joy in life. But I do have a lot of joy because God has really blessed me and my family, and I'm just soaking up every minute of, you know, being a first-time parent. And for as long as he tarries, I don't know if he's going to tarry long enough for us to be able to take in this baby boy who is about to be born next week. And I feel like also it's symbolic to like the timeline of things. Like we, you know, the bride of Christ, or God's children, the baby is literally about to be born any moment. And I mentioned maybe a week or 2 ago, I had a vision that I saw a newborn baby boy, just like it was like a newborn baby, just like that, and that was it. So I was like, is that showing me like our girl's baby sibling, their little brother? Is it showing me like, you know, the symbolism of the church, the baby is about to be born? I feel like it's both. I feel like God's kind of aligning that symbolism in my life, which is kind of neat. So I don't know how much longer until we're out of here, but if he should tarry a little while longer, just pray that we are able to get him here with his sisters and not get lost in the system, because that really does happen. You guys, I have so much that I could tell about that, the foster care system, that it's worse than I was ever told or imagined. But God can use anybody that he wants, and he has literally given us the best of the best to help us in our cases. Because there's just like with anything, anywhere, there's lots of corruption, lots of it. But also, you know, it's kind of something that I feel compassion towards that system, because they don't have enough workers. Their workers are overloaded because of how many children are being removed from the most horrible situations. And our caseworker did tell us, she's like, you know, just basically prepare for this baby boy, because he's going to be, you know, just showing the statistics of people and parents that continue to go on to have further children in the future, they get them removed. So, and we found out that she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, and she hasn't learned anything, so likely he will be removed. It's just that, please, Jesus, make the impossible possible. Get us through the hoops and obstacles that it's going to take for there to be a communication between the systems, for him to not get lost. Or, you know, a lot of these babies, you guys, are being put into homes with 2 moms, 3 moms, 2 dads. They don't care. Anywhere that they can get these kids, they will put them. And I just pray that he's able to come straight to us and not go back to her in the abusive situations and neglectful situations that she puts herself in. And she's a young mom. Pray for her as well. Just pray for her soul. So, all right, you guys, bye.